American Fork Police.
Hi, how's it going? I just have a few questions. Can I just have a name and badge number so I know who I'm speaking with?
I am a part-time, phone answerer, and per the county attorney, I am not giving out my name because of the threats that we are receiving.
Are you willing to publicly disavow the police officers who were involved in some of this illegal bullying and intimidation and illegally detaining someone who is an innocent victim in all of this, including your police chief and any other officers that were involved in arresting this man who clearly did not break any laws?
I'm not going to comment on that. The official word from your police department, from an officer in your police department, was that police officers typically will mute body cams when speaking to another officer on a scene. Is that true? Or is that just up to the discretion of the officer, or is it your actual policy?
That is true. It is up to the discretion of the officer, but it's typically, in circumstances, me personally.
All right, so it is up to the discretion of the officer, but it is very common practice at this police station to mute body cam when speaking to another officer at the scene of a crime.
Sure, yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm sorry for the background noise. I will do my best ability to make some of that background noise go away. But I just wanted to reach out and speak to some people and tell you guys that I have been watching this series on Legos that I never thought would be that exciting. Well, I was wrong. I actually stopped watching Asmongold for a while there when he started bashing on Candace and conspiracy theorists, mainly because I think that's such a low IQ thing to say, that all conspiracy theorists are just psycho buku nuts, idiots that don't ever rely on real information, because it is a large array of people when you're talking about conspiracy theorists. You see, Asmongold himself believes that 9/11 was a conspiracy theory. Okay, he believes that other entities conspired to create 9/11. So, in his own definition, he is also a conspiracy theorist. The only difference between him and Candace Owens is one, Candace Owens is a lot more intelligent than Asmongold. Okay, Asmongold has very low IQ takes. It's the easiest take to have. Not to say that I don't agree with Asmongold and a majority of the things he talks about, but when it came to this specific case, he gets very emotional because his mother was a huge conspiracy theorist. Conspiring about literally everything in the world, and everything was a conspiracy theory. So I guess I can understand that, but when he started calling people who follow Candace idiots and retards and scumbags, well, I think he's an idiot, a retard, and a scumbag. There is a plethora of evidence that is linking Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, and a number of other people involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And if you can't see that, well, you are either dumb or willingly ignorant. And the reason why I say willingly is because the information is out there. And if you're not going out there to actually do the research yourself, well, you really can't have an opinion on it that should be looked at with any sort of value from anyone else in the world. But nonetheless, there is a reason why I brought that up. Asmongold was talking about this case, and he said this is the most interesting video that I've seen in a long time, or something along those lines. Well, that was important to me because I was like, I didn't want to click on this video when I seen other people talk about it, but this title was enough for me to see, let's just see what's going on. I'm laying in bed, I'm playing Golf Clash, and which I hate that game, but nonetheless I was playing it, and I was watching this documentary. And I will tell you right now, if you don't know about it, if you have not seen it, you need to go out there and look at it. It is the most infuriatingly awesome thing I've ever watched in my life. This guy behind me, Reckless Ben, is one of the most amazing people I've ever seen, and he really highlights some of the flaws of the justice system in the United States. All right, sorry about that little cut, but I actually, that was supposed to be a test run, and I actually liked some of the stuff that I was saying, so I changed the lighting a little bit and my camera angle, and we're going to get right back into it. This is an angle, and the reason why I brought up the Asmongold situation and Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens is simply because something very interesting. This video of Reckless Ben, if you haven't seen it, please pause my video and go watch it. It is so interesting. There is 2 parts out, maybe 3 parts coming out today. I'm not sure, but it is extremely interesting, okay? And it really highlights how corrupt the police can be. Extremely corrupt. I mean, I was literally sitting in my bed cursing out the TV. My wife's like, what is going on in there? I normally don't swear, or at least I try not to. I was so mad. My body temperature raised to at least 104 degrees. I'm piping hot out of my ears. When you watch what the police did to this man, who is a hero, in many people's eyes, this guy is literally like almost comparable to Robin Hood, like our own personal Robin Hood. He is incredible, okay? Nonetheless, these police are so corrupt, okay? And we're talking about Utah, okay? There's not a lot of press about Utah. I never see anything going on in Utah. I'm all the way on the East Coast, so I literally don't know anything about Utah except for the fact that this little police station in Utah named American Fork Police Department is one of the most corrupt police departments I've ever witnessed in my 33 years of living, okay? It is actually unbelievable how corrupt these officers are. There is, I want to say, only like 17 officers in this police station. It's a small town, and they basically have just enough officers for first shift, second shift, third shift, and they're just keep on rotating. And this story is about an 84-year-old man on his deathbed who reaches out to a YouTuber because the police have not been helping him and he cannot afford a lawyer, who had an obsession with collecting Star Wars themed Legos. And this guy had a ton of fully put together sets or unopened boxes of Legos, which I had no idea they sell for a lot of money, but they do. And sorry if I'm looking around. I'm new to this streaming stuff, but I really hope you guys like this. If you like it so far, please drop a like, please subscribe. I want nothing more than to be able to do this full time, support my family, and bring the news to you guys. And I hope you guys like me. I really do. But anyways, this guy ends up collecting like hundreds of full sets and also like over 1,000 figurines, I think. Don't get mad at me if I said that wrong, but apparently they go for a lot of money, around $200,000, okay? And the man behind him is who this 84-year-old man's son reached out to try and help them. And he was able to actually get somewhere. He drove down, and I'm not going to get into a lot. I really want to have you guys watch it if you haven't already, and just highlight the fact that this turned into a Lego theft conspiracy into one of the most corrupt states I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking about corruption from the local police department all the way to the police chief, to the individuals in the police station that are redacting body cam footage, all the way to the district attorney, then all the way up to the actual judges in Provo, Utah, okay? And why I brought up that thing with Asmongold is the fact that Charlie Kirk was killed in Utah. And if you know anything about the Charlie Kirk assassination, is that there is a lot more to the story than this deranged leftist went there and decided to put this guy out because he talked about trans a few times, okay? This story is a highlight of how much corruption can truly go on in America, that a man that was so beloved by so many people, granted he was controversial, he was loved by so many, and overall, he was a very nice person. And he did what anyone should do that has controversial opinions. He went out into the public domain and talked to people that he disagreed with. Okay? That is like what we should all strive to be, to sit down and have conversations. And if you disagree, it doesn't need to get violent. You just need to talk to each other, work it out. He's changed his mind over the years, as well as you might as well. And that's the beauty of it. As we all know, Charlie was a firm, staunch defender of Israel. But guess what? Towards the end, that changed drastically, which is the reason why he is not here with us today. I am a firm believer that a mixture of money, power, Israel, and Turning Point USA's hold on the United States and how important and integral they are to the US election process, as well as some fraud, is causing him to be shot, okay, or exploded mic. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what actually happened, but I will say, I can say with 100% certainty that it was not just Tyler Robinson went there and shot him in the neck. I honestly don't even believe Tyler Robinson was there and took the shot, but I will tell you one thing. His court hearing, his court that, they're going in and prosecuting this Tyler Robinson is in the 4th District of Provo, Utah. Well, that's very interesting because that is also where this guy, Ben, is being prosecuted as well, which you would think they would have dropped the case by now because the public opinion has already come out. And I would say about anyone with a brain, about 95% of Americans are on the side of reckless Ben, and maybe 5% of idiot retards are on the side of the police department. But when I tell you the corruption runs deep, you guys seriously have no idea. It is so, so bad. So I got fired up and I was like, I've taken a very long time of making videos. I stopped making videos for a while. So I said, you know what? I am so fired up about this case. I'm calling the police department right now. So that's exactly what I did. I called the police department over there in Provo, Utah, or wherever the American Fork Police Department is. I spoke to a lady and I asked some questions, and I was very mad, but very professional. And I made one mistake. I did not record it. So what I did today was like, you know what? I'm going to call them again and I'm going to record it. And maybe I'll just upload that simple recording to YouTube. But instead of that, I was like, I'm just going to put out a whole video and talk a little bit, but also I will link the actual conversation with the police department in the or down below in the description so you guys can access it quicker. I have a recording that I did earlier today, but my daughter, who is 2 years old, was literally screaming in the background. So a lot of that audio, it's just kind of annoying to listen to, but I will promise you that she admitted some actually crazy, disgusting things to me in this phone call. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to have a conversation with these individuals. Again, hopefully I get the same lady. I'll get her name and badge number, and I'm going to ask her a series of questions that I asked yesterday and the day before, but I'm going to frame it in a different light because once you see what this police officer said to me, you will understand why I needed to make a video about this. I mean, this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. And for whatever reason, if the phone call that I try to have with this lady, or if it's a different person, they hang up on me, they don't want to answer the questions like they did previously, I can always fall back to the recording that I already have on my phone that shows some of the just wild answers that this chick gave me, who is a police officer at the same department in Provo, Utah. Or at least I think it's in Provo, Utah. It might be a town somewhere else in Utah, but that's where the court case is out of. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and write down my questions a little bit just so that I have a idea of how to systematically ask these again, so I don't make any mistakes in the phone call. And then we're going to go ahead. I'm going to call. I'm going to ask her those questions again, and you guys are going to be shocked at how absolutely disgusting this is, okay? So just sit tight. I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, I am back, and I think I am ready to make the phone call. I currently have written out a little script so I can ask the officer in an appropriate way. We're going to go ahead and put this on speakerphone, and hopefully the camera fixes it up nicely. We'll turn off my notifications here, turn up my media, and let's go ahead and call this police station on speaker, and so you guys can hear everything that's been going on. I might not be looking at the camera during this conversation for obvious reasons. I have a script right here and some other things that I would like to ask, so give me a second, and here we go.
You have reached the American Fork Police Department Administrative Offices. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. For fingerprints, our hours are 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tuesday through Thursday. For residents of American Fork, it is free of charge. Those who live outside the city of American Fork, there is a fee of $25. For questions regarding records, youth court, alarms, or any administrative need, please press 1. For evidence and safekeeping, please press 2. To speak with an officer or to file a report, please press 3.
All right, guys, I'm going to press 3 in a second. I just need to take my medicine real quick.
Your call cannot be transferred. Please try again later. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. For fingerprints, our hours...
American Fork Police.
Hi, how's it going? I just have a few questions. Can I just have a name and badge number so I know who I'm speaking with?
I am a part-time, phone answerer, and per the county attorney, I am not giving out my name because of the threats that we are receiving.
Okay, can I speak with someone else who is an officer then?
Potentially, let me put you on hold real quick and see if I can grab one for you.
Yeah, I would like to speak with an officer, so they're the only ones that are going to be able to answer my questions. So thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Do you want to give your name so they know how to address you when they answer the phone?
Oh, no, thank you. I'll tell them when they get on the phone.
Okay, sounds good. Just stay on hold for a moment. Let me go find someone.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. That's hilarious. The threats they were receiving. They tried to pull this on me last time, but I'm not going to let that fly. I think there is not one good person in this whole police department. Hi, my name is Rob. What was that name again? Name and badge number? This is an officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you said Officer Garrett?
Guerra.
Guerra? Okay, and what's your badge number?
5J36.
5J36. Okay, I was calling because I just had some questions. I had called previously and spoken to a lady. I do not remember her name and badge number, but I had a conversation with her, and I was there were some more questions I had that I didn't have at the time. So I just wanted to ask you guys, and the same question that I asked her, but this is a different officer. Is it standard practice to mute your body camera while on the scene of a crime when speaking to another fellow officer?
I'm not going to comment on that.
No comment? Okay, she already told me that is standard practice, so that's okay. You don't have to comment on it. It's just a question I wanted to ask. Now, I do want to ask you, has the chief of police resigned since making his statement about the illegal redactions? He said that the redactions were all lawfully done, but as we all know now, all of those have leaked, and it clearly showed that the officers were conspiring to illegally detain Reckless Ben by knowing the owner of the Airbnb and conspiring to basically raid his house and get him arrested. So I'm curious, does the chief have plans to resign from office, and all the officers that were involved in this, are they also planning to resign willingly, or are they going to wait?
I don't have an answer for you on that because, in all honesty, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. And I do want to apologize. I know some people there may be innocent. I don't know. I just know when I looked it up, there was only so many officers there, and there was at least 7 or 8 of them involved in some of this. So it is a very, very tough spot for anyone innocent in this police station to have to deal with. So if you are, I also had another question. Are you one of the officers that were involved with the Reckless Ben case in any aspect, or were you someone who was not involved at all?
I was not involved at all.
Okay, awesome. That is great to hear. That is great to hear. I wanted to ask you, I did try and ask the other lady. She was not willing to answer the question. I want to know who the person is responsible for illegally redacting the body camera footage before releasing it to the public.
I'm not going to comment on that as well.
Okay. I do want to mention, I do want to give you guys a chance to redeem yourselves. She said she didn't want to comment on that because she was protecting her people. That's a crazy statement to me because, in my personal opinion, what she did was clearly illegal. I mean, everybody knows that. She was very unfortunate that a good officer either made a mistake or did it willingly, released all the unredacted body cam footage, which proves that she illegally redacted information in order to keep that officer safe from basically having to deal with prosecutions, which he rightfully should have to deal with. So are you going to refuse to release that information to protect this individual who willingly broke the law to cover for an officer who committed some heinous acts against an innocent man?
What I'm going to tell you, sir, is since this is an ongoing investigation, I'm not going to comment on that either.
Okay, but not necessarily to protect her. Or him. I don't know who it was.
Just since this is an ongoing investigation, I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay, totally understandable. I respect that answer. I did not respect her answer. I was very mad because I actually did not see the body cam footage until like an hour ago after I had made the conversation to her. So I didn't know how bad it really was. And now I know how bad it really was. Like, awful. Okay, I already asked that. You said you weren't going to ask that. Are you willing to publicly disavow the police officers who were involved in some of this illegal bullying and intimidation and illegally detaining someone who is an innocent victim in all of this, including your police chief and any other officers that were involved in arresting this man who clearly did not break any laws?
I'm not going to comment on that.
No comment on that either. Will you pledge to report any nefarious or criminal actions committed by a fellow officer or employee of the American Fork Police Department? So basically, will you pledge to me that going forward, and I'm not saying you haven't done this in the past, that if you saw an employee or a fellow officer breaking the law, doing something nefarious or criminal, do you pledge to report that information to the proper authorities or management?
I am not going to comment on that.
You cannot comment on the fact if you are willing to report someone that you're watching break the law?
Again, I'm not going to comment on that.
All right, man. I tried to help you guys out. I did the best that I could. But this information, of course, I live in a one-party consent state, so all of these conversations I've had with your officers have been recorded, and the court of public opinion is not going to be nice to you guys with answers like these. So I was trying to do my due diligence and give you guys a chance to get ahead of this and try and save yourself from some of the scrutiny that is inevitably going to happen. But if you can't even answer that question, that has literally no bearing on the current case going on whatsoever, that is just sad, man. I mean, that is such a no-brainer. Yes, I will report crime when it's happening in front of me, but it's okay. You don't have to answer it. I'm not going to force you to, but I do want to let you know this will all be recorded, and I hope the court of public opinion is not so harsh to you as they are going to be to the rest of you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Well, I don't really appreciate you didn't really answer any of my questions. So thank you for your time at least, and good luck.
Okay, have a good day. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So this is one of those situations I was honestly not expecting. This guy he could not even pledge that he would report a crime. Okay, this is something that is like, duh, brain dead. I honestly am surprised that I even asked that question because it's such a brain dead question, right? Who in their right mind would say something like that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play back the recording from the other officer so you can hear how disgusting some of these answers are. And I do not have her name and badge number, but I did write it down previously, and I'm going to try to get it back. I don't know where it's written down at, but it looks like it's not here. Damn it, dude. I was texting my wife it, and then I deleted it to send her something else. Let me see if I can... I'll figure it out. I can look through their public records, and there's only so many people who work there, and she's a woman, and as soon as I see the name, I'll know exactly who this is. But I'm going to go ahead and play back this recording. I might have asked her in this recording, so let's just go ahead and see. Yep, here it is. I'm going to play this for you guys.
For fingerprints, Our hours are...
Wait, and I'm sorry, I just want to say ahead of time, my daughter was screaming in the background, typical 2-year-old, so I apologize, but you will still be able to hear, just bear with me, you will be able to hear her answers and my questions. Here we go.
Are 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Tuesday through Thursday. For residents of American Fork, it is free of charge. Those who live outside the city of American Fork, there is a fee of $25. For questions regarding records, youth court, alarms, or any administrative need, please press 1. For evidence and safekeeping, please press 2. To speak with an officer or to file a report, please press 3. Thank you.
Yeah, there's my daughter.
American Fork Police Department, how can I help you?
Yeah, I want to know who at your department is responsible for redacting body cam footage. Do you guys have like a department for that, or?
We have a couple people that are in charge of body cam footage, but I'm not going to give any names today.
Okay.
So,
all right. Is there a particular reason for that, or?
Press releases? Well, due to the sheer volume of number of people calling in, unfortunately, some names have been given out, and people are receiving death threats. They're finding family members' information, calling them, giving them death threats. So at this point, we're trying to protect our people from receiving any further phone calls.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. We're trying to protect our people. Okay, I understand death threats are a little extreme, but they are covering up one of the most heinous acts I've ever seen for a literal hero who's trying to get the life savings back of an 84-year-old dying man. And they're going to protect her. Yeah, that's real.
Okay, well, it's definitely not my intention to give anyone death threats. That's definitely not why I'm calling you guys. So I'm just.
That was your intention.
Is that just like something new?
We're not giving any names right now.
Okay, and I just didn't know. Like, I am not a lawyer by any means. I don't know much about the law whatsoever. I do know, obviously, you know why I'm calling. I'm sure hundreds of, or if not thousands of people are calling you. Obviously some corruption going on. So, I want to know, is that, like, do you guys, like, legally have to tell me that information? Because, I mean, obviously you guys were giving out the information before, and then the death threats started arising, and then you guys decided to stop giving that information. And I'm just curious, like, is that against the law to not give that information out? Or was that just, like, a courtesy you were giving before that you are no longer giving?
It was a courtesy. It's not against the law for me to not give you their names.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So, can you at least answer, or have those names are they already out? I imagine you said those names have been leaked. So those names are available to the public in some way, or I imagine then?
I have no idea. If you want to try to look up our city employee directory, you can try to do that. But.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have those people at all, the people that were responsible for redacting, or as a matter of fact, even your police chief came out and made a public statement. I'm sure you have been made aware that some of those body cam footages were accidentally uploaded unredacted on the public forum, and then they were downloaded by a bunch of people, and it directly contradicts your statement from the chief saying that everything that was redacted was in accordance to the law. So I was wondering, do you guys have any official stance on why your police chief went up in front of millions of people and just blatantly lied about the redaction process?
At this time, we do not currently have a comment. I'm sure one will be released online soon.
All right, and I do want to apologize. I'm saying a lot. This was not, like, planned to be uploaded to the internet. I just wanted to record it just in case, you never know when something comes of this. But the fact that she's not going to respond to that, it's like she's probably looking out for her job. But the fact that she said she's going to protect her people that knowingly tried to cover up the innocent assault, they pointed guns. Let me get this. Okay, I'm going to go off later. I'll let you guys finish this.
Okay, is your police chief still acting as police chief right now, or has he been placed on administrative leave?
He is still an active police chief. No one's been placed on administrative leave.
Wow, and he has not even stepped down after this fiasco. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. All right. And are any of the officers that were involved in the reckless Ben
Nope.
case, they're not also placed
Everyone
on
is
leave? They're still active and working.
Correct.
That is absolutely phenomenal. Are you one of the officers that were involved in the reckless Ben case?
No.
Okay, well, congratulations to you. I'm glad you avoided the fire with this one because it looks terrible. And I'm sorry that you have to deal with this. Honestly, I feel bad for anyone that's innocent in this situation. It's a very unfortunate situation. Now, I also have another question in regards to something different than this case. The Charlie Kirk case is also being held in the same district court as the reckless Ben case. I believe it was like District 4 in Provo, Utah. All right. Did you guys have any connection to the Charlie Kirk case in any way, shape, or form?
No, we had zero involvement with that.
Okay. All right. So nothing came out of your department from that. All right.
Nothing from our department. The only thing, truthfully, was when it happened, actually, I think officers from every department in the area in Utah County headed that way. But from what I've heard, no officers actually had any involvement with the investigation or even being on like the exact scene that happened with Mr.
Gotcha. Just kind of showed up, but more like unofficially. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the information you have given me. Now, I'm under the impression that you guys are not like FOIA-able, so you guys have a different process for getting information because I do want to request some information. Grandma. Okay, perfect. And just let me just make sure I have this correct here. The instructions are to go to AmericanFork.gov, and I can find the grandma request there.
Yep.
All right. And is there any fee associated with these grandma requests?
For this case, I don't believe we're doing any. Are we doing any grandma request fees for this case? Sorry, I'm just asking someone who would for sure know that.
Okay.
Are we charging for grandma requests for this case? How much is it? For the Ben Schneider case? Okay, so it does appear the grandma request is $25.
$25.
Okay, I do want to stop there and make a comment. The fact that she said, I don't think we're charging anything for this case, that would be the right call. Obviously, a lot of your officers, your police chief, the person redacting the body cam footage have all been caught in extreme cases of corruption. So the fact that you're charging them anything to be able to be transparent with the public and get this information is absolutely disgusting. They are trying to profit off of people getting answers, even though they have been caught red-handed. Literally doing, I mean, this is such a disgusting case. So, yep, I just wanted to ask that question. I'm glad I did.
And that is regardless if the request is approved or denied? So, like, if I paid $25 and it got denied,
Required regardless if the request is approved or denied? Like, if he's denied the request, does he still have to pay $25? Okay, all right. They are saying if it's denied, then you don't have to pay.
Okay, awesome. And then one last question, then I'll let you be on your way. It was made public yesterday. Somebody had a leaked phone call, I believe, with your police department. You never know if this stuff is real because of so much AI going on online, and it's so easy to fake a phone call. But it was relayed that the official word from your police department, from an officer in your police department, was that police officers typically will mute body cams when speaking to another officer on a scene. Is that true? Or is that just up to the discretion of the officer, or is it your actual policy?
That is true. It is up to the discretion of the officer, but it's typically, I mean, in circumstances, me personally,
All right, so it is up to the discretion of the officer, but it is very common practice at this police station to mute body cam when speaking to another officer at the scene of a crime.
Sure, yes.
Okay, and is that for any sort of like valid reason, or is that just what
it's
you
just
do?
mostly, I mean, if I'm talking to another officer about like my family or, you know, just personal life stuff, not necessarily all that needs to be on body cam.
Yeah, no, totally understood. So it's mainly with personal information. It's not typically when you're discussing the actual case that you're, or the actual scene of a crime, that you would not mute your body cam for that.
Well, in some
Only for personal
circumstances as
information.
well. No, I wouldn't say that. That's just normally a me personally type thing. But I know there are officers, if they want to go discuss the case, if they have questions about whatever, if they just want to have a discussion, they do mute their body cams and have a discussion, and then they take whatever actions they've discussed, hopefully on unmuted body cams.
Okay, that's very interesting. It definitely seems like something is wrong with that, but I guess that's my own personal opinion. I feel like the whole redaction process is the very reason why body cams should basically never be muted, because there's always the option of redacting after the fact if something were to become public. So I think that's crazy, but fair enough. I've gotten the information from you. Apparently, whoever leaked that was correct. So I appreciate your cooperation, and I will put my request in, and hopefully you guys are cooperative. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right, so there it was. There was the, here, let me turn this down. Mind you guys, I am new to streaming. I do not do this frequently. I've done it a few times. I really would like to get into it though. I am currently a stay-at-home dad. I raise my 2-year-old daughter. I do some work on the side. I run a business where I do all types of software engineering related stuff, whether that be websites, web applications, or basically anything involving programming. And I've been doing that for a very long time. But it is slow with the advent of AI. Things are just very difficult to get out there. Plus, I'm a new business. It's difficult to make money. But if I could do something like this, something I truly love, uncovering the corruption going on in the United States, or talking about politics, or just talking about current events, that would be incredible. So I do warn you that this is not going to be a perfect video, but hopefully I'm doing good enough, and hopefully you guys like what you hear. But talk about how disgusting that she says it's common practice for her to mute her body cam footage. I don't think that needs to be on body cam. And it's sad because she talks and she seems like she's a nice woman, but I can't help but think something smells fishy. And you can't smell her legs from the phone. So I'm thinking that has a lot to do with who she is and the common practices that are taught at this police department. I think at this point, I'm willing to say I think almost every single officer there is corrupt. Honestly, I'm ready to throw the whole state of Utah out. And it makes me so unsettled thinking that there is a corrupt judge out there willing to apprehend somebody, hold them for 30 days with no opportunity for bail. Okay? You can't bail out. That is reserved for some of like murderers, extreme drug dealers, some of the most heinous acts committed on planet Earth. So for someone like Reckless Ben, who's trying to do the world a favor and help this dying man out to get his literal fortune back, $200,000 is a lot of money that he planned on leaving to his kids when he passed away, which is inevitably going to be very soon. He's a very sick man. So this guy goes out of his way for free and gets put through the ringer. And this just goes to show you, do not think this is just some incident that just, oh, this is a one-off. No. Cops are not your friend. They're not your friend. If you think you know a good cop, you're probably wrong. Now, is that to say that there are no good cops? No. But I will tell you this. Just like if you're walking down the street and you see a black guy with his pants sagging, there's a gun in his waistline, he's got a grill in, and he looks dangerous, and there's a group of them, you should not give them the benefit of the doubt. You should cross the road. The same goes for police. You should treat them like violent criminals until you find out otherwise. And that's just my viewpoint. I think there are more bad cops than there are good cops. And I'm talking bad, like bad to the bone, straight up dirty cops, not just, oh, just every once in a while, blah, blah, blah. Do you know how many cops I see speeding with no lights and sirens on? They're just speeding down public roads and like heavily speeding just because they can, and no one's going to pull them over. But let someone else go 10 miles an hour over the speed limit and see what happens. Or if they just see you and they don't like you, they will literally fabricate a story to pull you over. Look at the Reckless Ben case. I'll just give you a little hint if you haven't seen it already. He's by the house of one of the CEOs that are committing these crimes and trying to steal this old man's fortune. And they're not on his property. They're on a public road, but the cops were called anyways because they just left the store that was implicated in this whole heist. And now the owner called, and since they knew Reckless Ben was in that car, the cops started following him with the intentions to fabricate anything they possibly could in order to pull them over. And guess what they did? They said, you ran a stop sign. But guess what? The body cam's out. It is clear as day they did not run the stop sign. They did not roll through the stop sign. Nothing of the sort. And then they held them for 3 hours and said that there was heroin in their car. Searched the car for 3 hours. A police dog came up 3 separate times to sniff the car. Only one of those times the police dog alerted. So that means a 33% chance of the police dog alerting. And if you ask me, I would bet my entire life and soul that the police officer instructed the dog to signal that there was drugs in the car. Or for all I know, the cop had drugs on him, and made the police dog signal that way. Just put a crumb in your pocket or shove it under the car. Whatever the reason, they didn't find anything in the car. And guess what? They still arrested the guy. You have to watch this. This is one of the most craziest, most disgusting things you've ever seen in your life. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to go ahead, leave now. I'm going to edit this stuff up and make it so that you guys can enjoy it. I plan on releasing much more information on this story as it happens. I'm going to do my best. I will put my heart, passion, and soul in this. Only if you guys show me some love, though, man. I really need some love. Like, subscribe. If you give me a chance, if you don't end up liking it in the future, you can always unsubscribe. But I promise we're going to do amazing things together.